Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation intervenes in case of minors involved in End Bad Governance violent protest. Presidential Food Systems Coordinating Unit urged to intensify its efforts to ensure sustainable food security.
Cassava is a very resilient crop that can grow almost anywhere.
Major General Olufemi Oluide assumes full command duties as Acting Chief of Army Staff.
My appointment as Acting Chief of Army Staff simply to hold sway while Lieutenant General T.A. Lakwaja, the Chief of Army Staff, is a way to enable him to take sufficient time to get necessary medical attention.
Hello and welcome to the news desk at 3 on Nta News24. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Olajide Bello. Vice President Shatima has inaugurated the National Flood Erosion Drought and Desertification Management Council with a mandate to establish a comprehensive approach to combating the growing challenges of environmental and climate-induced disasters. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
The inauguration of this council confirms the federal government's seriousness to tackle these environmental challenges through a unified response mechanism. The creation of the council followed recommendations from an updated roadmap on disaster management developed by a committee led by Kogi State Governor Usman Ahmad Ododo under the directives of the National Economic Council.
The Council is to chart a new course in the management of nature-induced disasters in Nigeria. It also enables us to work collaboratively and share resources for better and optimal performance. This is against working in silos. For us to achieve the cardinal objective of setting up this Council, we must be committed to fully participating in all its activities and operations. It is clear that the nature of disasters always calls for impromptu meetings. Accordingly, I urge all stakeholders to endeavor to be available at short notice. I have no doubt that we have the requisite knowledge and experience in our MDS to overcome whatever challenges there may be.
Looking for a permanent way, a permanent solution to these natural disasters. That is the basic mandate of this council.
We've been given terms of reference. We all come with our own challenges. The Vice President has also requested that all states should also submit reports of the level of damages in their states that have been affected by the flood.
The committee's responsibilities include advising the federal government on disaster management strategies, developing a national disaster management strategy with immediate, medium and long-term measures, and enhancing public awareness of climate resilience practices. From the State House, Abdurrahman Jibrila, Nta News.
Federal government, through the Industrial Research Institute, is working to adopt a technology-based approach to support farmers to achieve food security and support the growth of the economy. This was the message of the Director General of this.
The lucky beneficiaries of the program who applauded the visionary agenda of the federal government aimed at supporting youth.
This training came at the right time, because at a time when we are battling with youth restiveness, I can say it is very timely, because this is a technology that is indigenous and a lot of our youth are unaware of it.
I am a civil servant on the verge of retirement, so this couldn't have come at a better time for us. I've been involved previously in some few years back in fish farming, that is backyard fish farming. I wish to expand.
The Director General of the Institute represented says supporting small-scale businesses is top on the agenda of the President Tinubu's administration, hence the training of youth on trades and skills that will make them become self-reliant.
This process will be able to stimulate local economy. And when local economy is stimulated, production activity will be going on. And once you have production activity, some of the products that we used to import before will start not to export them again. We're producing them locally. And once we're producing them locally, you save the forest. And
we are now bringing an intervention to the locally available raw material to be preserved, and it's a form of, at the same time, it's a form of what they call food security agenda. So we are making a lot of contribution in terms of food security agenda, employment generation, and then GDP creation.
50 persons are expected to benefit from the training in Kano.
Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, has called for the case file of the minors that were arraigned for participating in the End Bad Governance violent protest. In a statement by the AGF, Lateef Fagbemi says he has ordered the Nigeria Police Force to transfer the case file to his office, and further directed the Director of the Public Prosecution of the Federation to immediately set machinery in motion to ensure the matter, which was adjourned till January next year, is brought forward. He notes that there are issues that his office would need to look into for an informed decision regarding the trial of the defendants, as offences for which they are charged for include treason. The Attorney General of the Federation, however, stressed that it is not within his powers to vary the court order that remanded the protesters in detention centres. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force says the minors were arraigned for various offences, including treasonable felony, terrorism and arson, which the force described as capital offences. First Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi, in a briefing, shed small light on the arrest and subsequent arraignment.
But none of them is less than 7. I think the youngest should be 13. The fact that you're a 13-year-old doesn't mean you cannot be charged to court. So anybody, even in the children and young person's act, you can still charge you to court because you are 13-year-old. You can go to court. So we have charged them to court for this. On behalf of the federal government of Nigeria, the police has taken the bull by the horn, because these are those who actually are leveraged on the End Bad Governance protest. They hijacked the protest and they are so violent. The people that are flying the Russian flags and many foreign flags, which of course is a punishable offense.
The Nigerian Correctional Service refutes media reports that the suspects arraigned before Justice Obiora Agwata at the Federal High Court, Abuja, for treason during the End Bad Governance protest in August 2024 were remanded in one of the adult custodial centers in Abuja. In a statement, Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Abubakar Omar, says the service operations are based on best correctional and global practices. Umar adds that the said suspects were rejected and none of them was remanded in adult custodial facilities, as is being alleged. Effectiveness and accountability, focusing on the Nigeria Police Act 2020 and Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015.
Repeal that brought about the Police Act 2020. 4 years after, Nigerians and some critical stakeholders are not well informed about the reforms that seeks to address many shortcomings in addition to addressing gender gaps in police in the country. Converged here are participants from the 19 training schools across the country to sharpen their understanding, to be able to cascade the knowledge to the recruits from their respective training schools for a more informed and effective policing of Nigeria.
Because we have learned a lot, and it has made us to be more prepared to offer more to our cadets and recruits, as the case may be.
So it has actually helped us, both the Police Act and AGJA. So in a way, it will really help us to carry out our assignment as trainers better.
A team of experts consisting the academics, international collaborators and the representative of the Department of Training from the force headquarters are working towards deepening understanding of the Act, together with the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015.
The Police Act 2020 and the AJA are key laws that regulates the police. And the training is the foundation, it's pivotal.
We hope that key outcomes from this will be a better understanding of the Police Act 2020 as well as its application in their day-to-day lives.
And I think what we are trying to get across is how these individuals, the participants, will go back to their respective schools and colleges to be able to dedicate their time in assisting the students.
A similar mission was also taken to the Police Academy in Wudil, where the team engaged the management of the institute. In Kano, Amin Umar, Nta News.
Major General Olufemi Oluyede assumes full command as the Acting Chief of Army Staff sequel to President Bola Tinubu's appointment. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, announced this in a symbolic ceremony in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
A symbolic ceremony ushering in the Acting Chief of Army Staff, Major General Olufemi Oluyede.
The event today is something that is new, that's never happened in the history of the armed forces of Nigeria. But as human beings, we know situations will always present itself, and what is done with the situation is what makes the difference.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, in clear terms spells out the mandate of the Acting Chief of Army Staff.
As professionals, we are to continue with our task ahead. No gap to be left based on the challenges we have in the country. And it's in the wisdom of the President and Commander-in-Chief that today we present the authority to the Acting Chief of Army Staff for him to have full control and command of the Nigerian Army.
My appointment as Acting Chief of Army Staff is simply to hold sway while Lieutenant General Nta News24 Chief of Army Staff is a way to enable him to take sufficient time to get necessary medical attention and recuperate. And that I intend to do with the whole of my heart and loyalty to the Constitution, as well as Mr. President.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Torid Abiodun Lagbaja, is on a medical leave. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, Nta News.
You're watching the news desk at 3 on Nta News24. More reports when we return.
The dreams that our founding fathers envisaged are still work in progress. Every day, we put our hands on the plow, determined to do a better job of it. While it is tempting to focus on what has been left undone and where we have stumbled as a nation, we must never lose sight of how far we have come in forging and holding our country together.
Thanks for being there. Amid growing concerns about dwindling reading habits among Nigerian youth, a call to action is resonating at the Authors Event and Book Fair Festival in Kaduna. Parents are being urged to prioritize instilling a love of reading in their children, recognizing its crucial role in navigating a rapidly evolving world. Adamu Sunday reports on the ongoing efforts to empower the next generation with the gift of literacy.
Francis Bacon famously said, "Reading maketh a fool man." Yet, in our era of smartphones and social media, the cherished act of reading and buying books seems to be waning, contributing to a worrying trend of academic laziness among students. Recognizing this alarming situation, Authors from across Nigeria gathered in Kaduna for a critical dialogue, the impact of writing in solving the socio-economic problems of northern Nigeria. This conference aimed to explore how the power of writing can be harnessed to address the multifaceted challenges facing the North and ultimately the entire nation.
These youths that are coming up now, they don't even know the value of reading a book. If you tell a child not to read a 200-page novel, you have given him an assignment that he will be going up and down about.
Students now read only to pass examinations, unlike before, when students read to acquire knowledge.
Proper upbringing, having enough time with the children, is part of what inculcate reading habit as part of our culture.
The participants, a diverse group of stakeholders, echoed a powerful message. Writers hold the key to unlocking situations. They asserted that the creative and analytical minds of authors, equipped with the potent tool of writing, can illuminate the path towards a better future for northern Nigeria and the country as a whole.
Writing can really go a long way because, one, it will expose the problems to the larger society, and then it will attract the necessary intervention.
Writers must write purposefully. They must have target audience.
This gathering served as a rallying cry, calling upon writers to leverage their skills to tackle pressing social and economic issues. The conference sought to spark a movement, fostering the collaborative effort to harness the transformative power of writing to build a more prosperous and equitable future. In Kaduna, Adamu Sunday, NTA News.
After what had been 3 days of engagements on how women can thrive in business space through advancement in technology, it was time for the 2024 Young African Women Congress to let their hair down and unwind. And so, a dinner and award night was organized at the final crescendo to celebrate women and their thriving businesses. Aleka Opanachiarua tells us more.
Adorned in various apparels that oozed glamour and excellence, the night was full of laughter and celebration as some of the women bagged awards for their resilience and contributions to the economic development of the African continent. After 3 days of deliberations, networking, and sharing of ideas, the ladies are optimistic that going forward, their businesses will experience a boost with the new technological knowledge acquired from the conference.
I have learned a lot, meeting a lot of people, networking. We have had a lot of great speakers that I've learned. I got a lot that I'm taking back home.
One joy I have is that this program is a sensitization program for all women, and it's for the globe.
Recounting some of the highlights of the Congress, many shared their experiences and what they will be taking back home to their country.
Going to carry back the message of resilience, I carry back the message of confidence, I carry back the message of nothing can be done to you, a woman, without you wanting that it should be done.
I run an orphanage home in the River State.
Economic empowerment through innovation and technology. In Abuja, Alika Opanachi, Arua, NTA News.
As Catholics all over the world celebrate All Saints' Day every 1st of November, the Holy Family Society is joining in the annual celebration, but this time with special activities to immortalize Most Reverend Patrick Ekpu, Archbishop of Benin Archdiocese. Ekenendele reports that the celebration took place at the Holy Trinity Catholic Church, Maitama, Abuja.
A day to celebrate saints who have walked the path of faith and virtue. In the solemnity of the celebration, the presiding priest reminded the congregation that they too can be remembered as saints if they choose the path of righteousness and live a good life.
Let us know that sainthood is achievable, because all of these persons who are saints once lived on earth here, just the way we are also living on earth. They saw the sun, they saw the moonlight, they saw everything, they saw the hardship, they saw the joyful aspects and everything.
For the Holy Family Society, this year's celebration is special. They are launching Archbishop Patrick Ekpu Empowerment Initiative to immortalize the late Archbishop, who in year 2000 approved inauguration of the society in the Archdiocese of Benin. Aside caring for the needy, the empowerment program aims to win more souls for God.
And we are committed to support this great initiative, and I call on all well-meaning Nigerians, good spiritual people, to join and support this initiative so that we can evangelize more people to the service of God.
This is an opportunity for us to remember him. That's why 4 initiatives have been created to remember him, not just this year, but not just this generation, but generations to come.
Bishop Ibu actually is somebody who is a philanthropy, who loved his parishioners and was so worried to, when with the economic crisis in the country. And we know that by this launching of his empowerment, wherever he is, he will be happy.
It is also the 24th anniversary of the Holy Family Society, and as members reflect on the vision of the founder, Sir David Osunde, they are appreciative of how the society has affected lives over the past 24 years. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulwe, Nta News.
Beneficiaries of the federal government life-changing intervention in Nta Okene local government area of Kogi State are optimistic that the stabilization of degraded landscape and channelization of water for dry season farming, genuine efforts of the federal government Akrisal project will eradicate poverty and boost food sufficiency. This was during the Akrisal implementation assessment mission to the area. Charles Alpha reports.
Nigerian government initiative, World Bank supported, but community-focused and people-oriented, describe the kind of intervention being carried out here by Akrisal in Okene, Kogi State. Some of these women groups are beneficiaries of the community revolving funds who have used such funds to empower themselves with this cassava value chain and processing center.
People are seeing here today is a benefit to us, not just with the member, but the entire community, because in the past, they don't know that you can process maize into semo locally.
You have shown what we treat as ownership of investment. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't support you to take this further.
Issa Yakubu used to be a seasonal farmer, but now he is an all-year-rounder. Together, he and members of his cluster are taking advantage of the channelization of water and a kind of farming method, Akrisal, the agro-climatic resilience in semi-arid landscapes the World Bank and state governments have introduced to combat hunger and malnutrition.
I'm not telling lies. Follow me to my farm and see what they are up to.
Initially, when the rain falls, you have a crisis. Now, there's nothing like that.
The excitement written on the faces of the beneficiaries actually gives us satisfaction that this project is on course.
Okene, being one of the catchment areas, is suffering from gully erosion that has not only destroyed buildings but claimed lives. Charles Alpha, Nta News.
The Federal Republic of Nigeria is deeply saddened by the tragic news of the destructive flash floods that hit eastern Spain on Tuesday, October 29, 2024, resulting in the loss of 158 lives and many more still missing. In solidarity with the people of Spain during this difficult time, Nigeria extends its condolence to the families of the victims. And similarly, a statement by the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Eche Abuobe, commiserates with Serbia over a tragic incident at railway station in Serbia town of Nova Sad on November 1st, 2024, which resulted in the death of 8 people, leaving 2 others hospitalized. The statement points out that Nigeria's thoughts and prayers are with those affected by these tragedies. And that concludes the News Desk at 3 on Nta News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Olajide Bello.